Television subscribers. By 2001, following years of civil war, telecommunications was virtually a non-existent sector, but by 2016 it had grown to a $2 billion industry, with 22 million mobile phone subscribers and 5 million internet users. The sector employs at least 120,000 people nationwide. Due to Afghanistan's geography, transport between various parts of the country has historically been difficult. The backbone of Afghanistan's road network is Highway 1, often called the Ring Road, which extends for 2,210 kilometers 1,370 miles and connects 5 major cities, Kabul, Ghazni, Kandahar, Herat and Mazar-i-Sharif, with spurs to Kunduz and Jalalabad and various border crossings, while skirting around the mountains of the Hindu Kush. The Ring Road is crucially important for domestic and international trade and the economy. A key portion of the Ring Road is the Silong Tunnel, completed in 1964, which facilitates travel through the Hindu Kush mountain range and connects northern and southern Afghanistan. It is the only land route that connects Central Asia to the Indian subcontinent. 440 several mountain passes allow travel between the Hindu Kush in other areas. Serious traffic accidents are common on Afghan roads and highways, particularly on the Kabul-Kandahar and the Kabul-Jalalabad road. Traveling by bus in Afghanistan remains dangerous due to militant activities. An Ariana Afghan Airlines Airbus A310 in 2006 air transport in Afghanistan is provided by the national carrier, Ariana Afghan Airlines, and by the private company Kam Air. Airlines from a number of countries also provide flights in and out of the country. These include Air India, Emirates, Gulf Air, Iran Asaman Airlines, Pakistan International Airlines, and Turkish Airlines. The country has 4 international airports: Hamid Karzai International Airport, formerly Kabul International Airport, Kandahar International Airport, Herat International Airport, and Mazar-i-Sharif International Airport. Including domestic airports, there are 43. Bagram Air Base is a major military airfield. The country has 3 rail links: 1, a 75-kilometer 47 miles line from Mazar-i-Sharif to the Uzbekistan border, a 10-kilometer 6.2 miles long line from Torgandi to the Turkmenistan border where it continues as part of Turkmen Railways, and a short link from Akana across the Turkmen border to Kirki, which is planned to be extended further across Afghanistan. These lines are used for freight only and there is no passenger service. A rail line between Kaf, Iran, and Herat, western Afghanistan, intended for both freight and passengers, is under construction as of 2019. About 125 kilometers 78 miles of the line will lie on the Afghan side. There are various proposals for the construction of additional rail lines in the country. Private vehicle ownership has increased substantially since the early 2000s. Taxis are yellow in color and consist of both cars and auto rickshaws. In rural Afghanistan, villagers often use donkeys, mules or horses to transport or carry goods. Camels are primarily used by the Kochi nomads. Bicycles are popular throughout Afghanistan. An Afghan family near Qom, 1939. Most Afghans are tribal. Afghans have both common cultural features and those that differ between the regions of Afghanistan, each with distinctive cultures partly as a result of geographic obstacles that divide the country. Family is the mainstay of Afghan society and families are often headed by a patriarch. In the southern and eastern region, the people live according to the Pashtun culture by following Pashtunwali, the Pashtun way. Key tenets of Pashtunwali include hospitality, the provision of sanctuary to those seeking refuge, and revenge for the shedding of blood. The Pashtuns are largely connected to the culture of Central Asia and the Iranian plateau. The remaining Afghans are culturally Persian and Turkic. Some non-Pashtuns who live in proximity with Pashtuns have adopted Pashtunwali in a process called Pashtunization, while some Pashtuns have been Persianized. Those who have lived in Pakistan and Iran over the last 30 years have been further influenced by the cultures of those neighboring nations. The Afghan people are known to be strongly religious. Afghans, particularly Pashtuns, are noted for their tribal solidarity and high regard for personal honor. One writer considers the tribal system to be the best way of organizing large groups of people in a country that is geographically difficult, and in a society that, from a materialistic point of view, has an uncomplicated lifestyle. There are various Afghan tribes, and an estimated 2–3 million nomads. Afghan culture is deeply Islamic, but pre-Islamic practices persist. One example is bachubazi, a term for activities involving sexual relations between older men and younger adolescent men, or boys. Child marriage is prevalent in Afghanistan. The legal age for marriage is 16. The most preferred marriage in Afghan society is to one's parallel cousin, and the groom is often expected to pay a bride price. A house occupied by nomadic Kochi people in Nangarhar province. In the villages, families typically occupy mud brick houses, or compounds with mud brick or stone-walled houses. Villages typically have a headman malik, a master for water distribution marab, and a religious teacher mullah. Men would typically work on the fields, joined by women during harvest. About 15% of the population are nomadic, locally called kochis. When nomads pass villages, they often buy supplies such as tea, wheat and kerosene from the villagers. Villagers buy wool and milk from the nomads. Afghan clothing for both men and women typically consists of various forms of shalwar kameez, especially parahan tunban and ket partug. Women would normally wear a chador for head covering. Some women, typically from highly conservative communities, wear the burqa, a full body covering. These were worn by some women of the Pashtun community well before Islam came to the region, but the Taliban enforced this dress on women when they were in power. Another popular dress is the chapan, which acts as a coat. The karakul is a hat made from the fur of a specific regional breed of sheep. It was favored by former kings of Afghanistan and became known to much of the world in the 21st century when it was constantly worn by President Hamid Karzai. The pakal is another traditional hat originating from the far east of the country. It was popularly worn by the guerrilla leader Ahmad Shah Massoud. The Mazari hat originates from northern Afghanistan. Kabul skyline, displaying both historical and contemporary buildings. The nation has a complex history that has survived either in its current cultures or in the form of various languages and monuments. Afghanistan contains many remnants from all ages, including Greek and Buddhist stupas, monasteries, monuments, temples and Islamic minarets. Among the most well-known are the Great Mosque of Herat, the Blue Mosque, the Minaret of Jam, the Chilzina, the Ali Bostan Lashkargah, the ancient Greek city of Iconium. However, many of its historic monuments have been damaged in modern times due to the civil wars. The two famous Buddhas of Bamiyan were destroyed by the Taliban, who,